Deep in the heart of the countryside, far from the bustling towns and the warmth of village lights, lies a place shrouded in mystery and fear. This is not a place found on any map, nor is it spoken of openly by those who live nearby. Instead, it is a name passed in hushed tones, a warning to children and travelers alike. The woods here are ancient, their trees towering and gnarled, their roots twisting deep into the earth as if clutching secrets from centuries past. The air is thick with mist, and even on the brightest days, sunlight struggles to pierce the dense canopy above. Locals call it the Silent Forest, a name earned not just for its stillness but for the uneasy quiet that settles over the land like a heavy blanket. It is a place where time seems to slow and every step taken is muffled by the thick carpet of fallen leaves. They say no bird sings there, not a single chirp or flutter breaks the silence. Even the usual woodland creatures, squirrels, foxes, deer are rarely seen, as if the forest itself has driven them away or swallowed them whole. The wind carries no sound but the rustle of leaves, a soft, ceaseless whisper that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Sometimes the wind feels colder here, as if it has passed through something unearthly before brushing your skin, and within the heart of this silent expanse, it is said, lies a cursed mirror. This is no ordinary-looking glass but an artifact of unknown origin, its presence felt long before it is ever seen. Some say the forest grew up around it as if nature itself was trying to hide or protect the world from what it contains. No one remembers who first found the mirror. Some believe it was discovered by a wandering traveler, others claim it was unearthed by a storm that toppled an ancient tree. The stories differ but all agree that the mirror has been there for as long as anyone can remember, waiting in the shadows. It sits upon a moss-covered pedestal, deep within the forest, as if placed there by unseen hands. The pedestal itself is old and cracked, covered in a thick layer of green moss and tangled vines, blending almost seamlessly with the forest floor. Made of polished silver, the mirror seems untouched by time. Its frame is ornate, decorated with strange symbols and patterns that no one has been able to decipher. Despite the damp and decay all around, the glass remains clear and gleaming, as if it were crafted only yesterday. Its surface is smooth and clear, reflecting the world with unsettling perfection. But those who have dared to look into it say the reflection is never quite right. Shadows move where there should be none, and sometimes a figure appears behind you, just out of reach, vanishing when you turn around. But beware, they say, for to look into the mirror is to invite darkness into your soul. The stories tell of people who gazed too long, only to stagger away changed, haunted by nightmares, plagued by whispers that followed them even in daylight. Some never spoke again, their eyes hollow and distant, as if a part of them had been left behind in the glass. Some say the mirror shows your greatest fear, drawing it out from the depths of your mind and making it real before your eyes. Others claim it reveals secrets you wish had stayed hidden, memories long buried, or futures best left unknown. Others whisper that it steals your voice, leaving you unable to speak of what you have seen. They say the forest is filled with the silent screams of those who dared to look, their voices trapped forever within the glass, echoing in the wind that never truly speaks. All agree, the mirror is a thing of evil. It is an object of dread, a relic that should never have been found, let alone left exposed to the world. Some believe it is a doorway to another realm, a prison for lost souls, or a curse placed upon the land itself, an object to be avoided, left untouched and unspoken. For in the whispering woods, where silence reigns and shadows linger, the haunted glass waits for the next soul brave or foolish enough to meet its gaze. The Silent Forest has long been a place of whispers and legends. Old folks tell tales of a forgotten king who, consumed by paranoia, silenced anyone who entered his domain. His cruelty, they say, poisoned the very air, leaving an eternal hush over the woods. Others speak of a witch who lived deep within the forest. She lured travelers with promises of food and shelter. Then, she trapped their souls in the mirror, adding their voices to the silent choir of the woods. True or not, these stories paint a chilling picture. They serve as warnings to any who dare to enter the Silent Forest. For within its silent embrace, it is said, the past never truly dies. It lingers, watching, waiting. One crisp autumn evening, a young hunter named Thomas ventured into the Silent Forest. He'd heard the stories, of course, but Thomas, emboldened by youth and a sense of adventure, dismissed them as mere superstition. He sought a prize buck, one rumored to roam the deepest parts of the woods. Deep in the woods, Thomas stumbled upon the moss-covered pedestal and the gleaming mirror. Intrigued, he drew closer. He saw his reflection, but it seemed different. His face was pale, his eyes wide with an unfamiliar terror. Then a voice, raspy and weak, seemed to whisper from the mirror itself. "Beware, the silence. It listens." Thomas stumbled back, heart pounding. He fled the clearing, the mirror's chilling warning echoing in his ears. Shaking off the unsettling experience, Thomas pressed on, determined not to let fear dictate his actions. The forest, however, seemed to close in around him with every step. Each footfall was muffled by the thick carpet of moss and fallen leaves, and the air felt heavy, as if the woods themselves were holding their breath, waiting for something to happen. Thomas tried to focus on the hunt, reminding himself of the prize buck he had tracked for days, but the memory of the strange encounter lingered at the edge of his thoughts, refusing to be dismissed. Yet the silence of the forest seemed to press in on him, thick and suffocating. The usual sounds of birds and small animals were absent, replaced by an unnatural stillness that made Thomas's skin crawl. Every now and then, a distant branch would snap, echoing through the trees like a warning. He paused, listening, but heard nothing more, only the relentless, oppressive quiet. He felt a constant presence, like unseen eyes watching his every move. The sensation was so strong that he found himself glancing over his shoulder, half expecting to catch a glimpse of someone, or something, lurking just out of sight. Shadows seemed to shift and dance at the edge of his vision, and the deeper he ventured, the more convinced he became that he was not alone. The woods felt colder, darker. A chill crept through the air, seeping into Thomas's bones despite his thick jacket. The trees, once familiar, now loomed overhead like silent sentinels, their branches twisting together to block out what little sunlight remained. The path ahead was barely visible, swallowed by the encroaching gloom. He found no trace of the prize buck. The tracks he had followed so carefully seemed to vanish, as if the animal had been swallowed by the forest itself. Frustration mingled with unease, and Thomas began to question his own senses. Had he missed a sign, or was something else at play, something he could not explain? Instead, he began to hear whispers carried on the wind. At first they were faint, just the suggestion of voices, barely audible above the rustling leaves. But as he stood still, straining to listen, the whispers grew clearer, weaving through the trees like a secret language meant only for him. His name, spoken in hushed, urgent tones. "Thomas!" The sound seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing through the forest like a memory. He spun around, searching for the source, but saw only the shifting shadows and the endless maze of trees. Each whisper sent a shiver down his spine, raising goosebumps on his arms. The voices seemed to know him, to call out to the deepest parts of his mind where doubt and fear resided. He tried to tell himself it was just the wind, just his imagination playing tricks, but the fear was real, gnawing at his resolve. He could not be sure if the voices were real or just figments of his imagination, fueled by fear and exhaustion. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, and Thomas felt himself teetering on the edge of panic. Every shadow seemed to move, every gust of wind carried a new threat. He clutched his rifle tighter, though he doubted it would protect him from whatever haunted these woods. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing in his ears. He tried to steady his breathing to remind himself that he was a seasoned hunter, that he had faced danger before. But this was different. This was not a threat he could see or fight. This was something older, something woven into the very fabric of the forest. Thomas, his confidence shaken, decided to leave the forest. The hunt no longer mattered. Survival was now his only goal. He retraced his steps as quickly as he dared, every sense alert for the slightest sound or movement. The whispers followed him, growing fainter but never truly fading. As he emerged from the trees, the setting sun cast long, eerie shadows across the land. The world outside the forest felt brighter, safer, but the memory of what he had experienced clung to him like a second skin. The whispers seemed to linger in the air, carried on the evening breeze. He glanced back at the dense woods, a shiver running down his spine. The trees stood silent and unmoving, but Thomas could not shake the feeling that they were watching him, that the forest itself was alive with secrets and shadows. He lingered at the edge for a moment, torn between relief and a strange sense of loss. Part of him wanted to turn back to prove to himself that it had all been in his mind, but the fear was too strong, the memory too vivid. He never spoke of what he had seen or heard that day, but the memory of the silent forest and the whispers within haunted him still. Long after he left the woods behind, the doubt and fear lingered, a constant reminder that some mysteries are best left undisturbed. The stories surrounding the silent forest have been passed down for generations, whispered from parent to child, and shared in hushed tones around flickering campfires. This is a place where the line between reality and legend blurs, where every shadow seems to hold a secret, and every rustle in the undergrowth might be something more than just the wind. The forest itself seems to breathe with ancient memories, its trees standing as silent witnesses to countless mysteries. Among these tales, none are as chilling or as enduring as those of the cursed mirror, an artifact said to be older than any living soul in the village. Some say it simply appeared one morning, leaning against a gnarled oak, its surface clouded with age and secrets. Others claim it was brought here by a traveler who vanished without a trace, leaving only the mirror behind as a silent testament to their fate. Locals whisper of a connection between the mirror and the forest itself, as if the two are bound by an invisible thread. They speak of strange happenings, of people who enter the woods and return changed, their eyes haunted by things they've seen reflected in the glass. Some refuse to even utter the mirror's name, fearing it might draw its attention. Some believe the mirror acts as a conduit, a vessel through which energies from another world seep into our own. They say that on certain nights when the moon is hidden and the mist is thick, the mirror glows with an unnatural light, as if it is awakening from a long slumber. Those brave or foolish enough to touch its surface report feeling a chill that seeps into their bones, and hearing faint voices calling from the other side. To many, the mirror is more than just an object. It is a bridge between our world and something beyond, a threshold that separates the known from the unknown. The forest path that leads to it is said to disappear in the fog, as if guiding only those who are meant to find it. Some believe that crossing this threshold means risking more than just getting lost. It means risking your very soul. The legend tells of a witch who once called this forest home, a woman shunned by the villagers for her strange powers and her knowledge of the old ways. It is said that, in her final days, she poured all her anger and sorrow into the mirror, cursing it with dark magic so potent that even the bravest dared not approach her dwelling. Some say her spirit still lingers, watching over the mirror, waiting for someone to break the curse, or to fall victim to it. It's said that she used the mirror to trap the souls of those who crossed her, their faces, sometimes appearing in the glass, twisted in silent screams. Over the years, countless people have claimed to see ghostly faces flickering in the mirror's depths, their eyes pleading for release. Some believe these are the spirits of the lost, forever bound to the witch's curse, unable to move on. Their voices, unable to escape the mirror's grasp, joined the oppressive silence of the woods. The forest, once alive with bird song and the chatter of animals, has grown eerily quiet, as if mourning the souls it has lost. Even the wind seems to carry a mournful tune, echoing the sorrow of those trapped within the glass. These whispers, barely audible to the living, hint at the true nature of the curse. Some say that if you listen closely you can hear your own name spoken among them, a warning to turn back before it's too late. The leaves rustle with secrets, and the mist seems to swirl with the memories of those who came before. The stories suggest that the mirror is not merely an object but a gateway, a portal to a place where the rules of our world no longer apply. Some believe it leads to a realm of shadows, a place where time stands still and the past is never truly gone. Others think it is a prison, holding back something ancient and hungry, waiting for the right moment to break free. It is a window into a realm of shadows and whispers, a place where the boundaries between life and death, light and darkness, are forever blurred. Those who have gazed too long into its depths speak of visions, of places they have never been, and faces they have never seen, all calling to them from beyond the glass. And sometimes, it seems, those shadows can reach back through the glass, their cold fingers brushing against the world of the living. The silent forest keeps its secrets well, but for those who dare to seek the truth, the mirror remains, a bridge between worlds waiting for its next visitor.